The Senate has just passed a historic $2 trillion stimulus package to get money to Americans hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic. Now, President Trump says he's ready to sign the coronavirus aid bill without delay.
But there's still one more hurdle it needs to pass. Let's go to KCAL 9 political reporter Randy Page joining us live now with more. Randy?
You know, it's hard to understate the importance of this vote when you think about what the Senate has been through just in the past few months, going through an impeachment trial, tremendous amount of division, and yet they were able to pass this unanimously tonight. Moments ago, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell spoke about the historic nature of this vote and also the fact that they were able to put this together. We'll have a lot more on this coming up in a moment, but first, the latest on the fight against the coronavirus. Here's President Donald Trump.
It's hard not to be happy with the job we're doing. That I can tell you.
This evening, for the second day in a row, President Trump said he is eager to get the nation back to work, and he expects to reveal his plan next Monday. That will be the 15th day of the current shutdown.
We don't have a country where they say, hey, let's close it down for 2 years. We can't do that. It's not our country. So we're going to be talking, and it could be we'll do sections of our country. There's big sections of our country that are very, little affected by what's taken place. At the end of the 15th day, or even during the 15th day, I think we'll have some kind of a recommendation.
In a tweet today, the president suggested there may be a political motive from those who are calling for him to keep people at home to prevent the spread of the fatal virus. The lamestream media is the dominant force in trying to get me to keep our country closed as long as possible in the hope that it will be detrimental to my election success. The real people want to get back to work ASAP. We will be stronger than ever before. At today's news conference, the president was asked to explain what he meant by that.
I think there are certain people that would like it not to open so quickly. I think there are certain people that would like it to do financially poorly because they think that would be very good as far as defeating me at the polls. There are people in your profession that write fake news. You do. She does. There are people in your profession that write fake news. They would love to see me for whatever reason because we've done one hell of a job. Nobody's done the job that we've done. And it's lucky that you have this group here right now for this problem, or you wouldn't even have a country left.
Health officials continue to push back on the idea of sending people back to work within a few weeks, including the director of the World Health Organization.
The last thing any country needs is to open schools and businesses only to be forced to close them again because of a resurgence.
In an interview with CBS News, Democratic presidential frontrunner Joe Biden said the president's optimism carries genuine risks.
The only thing we can do worse than telling the American people the truth is, in fact, raise false hopes. And then when it doesn't occur, they go, oh, my God, something really must be worse than I thought it was.
The former vice president also criticized President Trump's approach to daily coronavirus briefings.
I just wish he would introduce those briefings and step aside and let Dr. Fauci and the experts speak.
Tonight, financial experts are hoping a last-minute snag that's delaying the Senate's $2 trillion lifeline to struggling workers and companies can be straightened out, and soon.
They need this money like as fast as possible.
Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio helped write the bill, which calls for more than $350 billion in loans and grants designed to prevent more layoffs.
There's already 800 banks that do this, and the bill authorizes them to use the same infrastructure to immediately begin providing this money.
The bill's big boost in unemployment insurance should go into effect by next week. In Michigan alone, jobless claims have surged from 5,000 last month to 123,000 this month. CBS financial analyst Jill Schlesinger.
We must help individuals. This bill is a start. We'll see if it's enough.
As for those cash payments, $1,200 for most individuals, double for couples, and $500 more for each child. The Treasury Secretary says the IRS should be able to direct deposit the funds in most bank accounts within 3 weeks. Aaron Sharp from Long Beach is scheduled to be furloughed by a major hotel chain tomorrow and his salary cut by 80%.
It will help me, of course. Any type of money, I'll take it at this point with being furloughed and not knowing 60 days out if I'll still have a job after that.
Okay, so here's where this $2 trillion package goes next. It goes to the House. Now, House Democratic leaders have said they do intend to sign it. However, they do want to take a look at it. So they'll spend tomorrow looking at it. Then they hope to do a voice vote on Friday morning. Then it goes to the president, and we know the president has already said he'll vote on it as soon as it comes to his desk. Bottom line, we can expect to see this pass most likely before the end of the week. But then the implementation has to happen, and we're told it should be very quick. Let's go back to you.
All right, good to know. Randy, thank you.